Hello, all you wonderful Sagittarians. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I mentioned it in part 1, and I'm just going to go back over your chart a little bit because I think it's important. So on June 30th, we had a Jupiter movement into Leo. For Sagittarians, Jupiter is your ruling planet. It's very, very interesting. Now, where do we go with all of this? Jupiter, for you, is in your 9th house. Your 9th house of learning, expansion, travel. You love to travel. And this sets you up for a year of these kind of exciting exploits. On Wednesday the 1st, Mars sextiled that Jupiter. Mars in your 7th house of partnerships. And of course, Jupiter in your 9th house of travel and exploring and expanding your worldview. It says that there's a possibility of having a partner that takes you all over the place, or that you do things with. On Saturday, the 4th, you have a Mars conjunction with Uranus. Now, for Sagittarius, Gemini is your opposite sign. You get along with Geminis. And there's a Mars conjunction in that 7th house that we've been just talking about, of partnerships. Your partner and you could concoct a really interesting situation. You could say, oh, okay, I'm going to buy a boat and live on it. I'm going to travel around Spain. I'm going to explore Connecticut. I'm going to take a job in another country. And my partner is too. At the same time, Mercury in Cancer will retrograde into Cancer. And that is in your 8th house. So there'll be a lot of discussion, a lot of trying to decipher, to rethink everything and anything that has to do with inheritances and obligations and your sexuality, etc., etc. I know it seems strange. It's all thrown in there. Sex, death, and taxes. And then Monday the 6th, the Sun will square Saturn. It's a pretty heavy transit. The Sun will be in your 8th house, and Saturn in Aries is in your 5th. So there could be, some very interesting transition getting ready to occur that relates to your creative life, your love life, your children, something of that nature. And it can be heated. You may have one of your offspring decide they want to move to China, and you live in California. And you're like, why? Why would you leave us? Or you could have a creative argument with one of your creative partners. But whatever it is, when we move into Tuesday the 7th, Neptune goes retrograde, and it will also be in that 5th house. And what you will be doing is using that Neptunian energy to think differently, to read between the lines, and to review, redo, and revisit. Very interesting. So keep all of that in mind. On Thursday the 9th, we have a triple South Node conjunction. Yes, one of them is in Regulus, the fixed star, in Virgo. The South Node will be in Virgo, and then Venus will be in Virgo. Now, where does this fall in your chart? Aha, in your great and glorious career area. You're working to reshape, refine, reimagine your career. And there may be wounds, or somebody has said something to you, or they've damaged your reputation, and you're working to change all of that. And then on the 14th of July, we have a new moon in Cancer. And a new moon in Cancer falls in that 8th house again, of transition, of owing people money, inheriting money, transitioning into a new lifestyle, a new relationship, any number of things. So this will all be coming up for you, and it will make an important shift in the way you see your life. Okay, Sag, let's take a look at the cards and see how they add up to what we're talking about. All right, let's pull an oracle card to see where this takes us. Sagittarius. Be persistent. Work on what matters to you. You know, a very famous sculptor by the name of Louise Bourgeois would tell all of her studio assistants and all of her students, when you go into a museum, pay attention to what you care about, and really pay attention. It's a certain kind of persistence. Pay attention and be persistent. Sag. Don't give up because somebody doesn't think that your idea matches what they think they would do. There's a partnership. We talked about that a minute ago. There's a partnership or a love affair or a committed relationship that you rely on, and you work with that person, and you enjoy their company. 9 of Pentacles. And they bring you good news. That could be an old friend. 6 of Cups. Because they're also bringing the news that there's a new beginning, a new start, a new doorway to enter. That person could, I mean, this is you, non-gender specific, King of Wands, Queen of Wands, whatever wand, but this is the head honcho of the wand lexicon, and it's a Sag. So you are wandering down a road that's taking you on a new path. And very lucky one at that. We expect great things from you. Sag, have a wonderful, wonderful week or so, and check back with me after the 14th. Thanks. Hello, all you Geminis. Let's dive into your chart and see what's happening over the next week or so. Well, for starters, and I mentioned this last time we talked, but it's an overarching theme here. Jupiter enters Leo. Now, Jupiter enters Leo, and that's not a bad placement for you Geminis. Get along with fire signs. Excuse me, but the pollen is so heavy here, and the plants are growing like crazy, and I'm sitting inside a house with a lot of air conditioning, so I have a shirt on. It's crazy. But anyway, let me go back to you. So Gemini, Leo, Jupiter in Leo is so good for you. It's in your 3rd house. It's the area where you get to express your ideas. What does a Gemini like to do more than talk and share insights? Not many things. So 3rd house is all about, you know, getting your ideas across the airwaves. And you have a whole year of doing this. So that's very exciting. Then on Wednesday, the 1st, Mars went into a relationship with Jupiter. It's called a sextile. It's very harmonious, but because it's Mars and Jupiter, Mars is about action and excitable energy, and Jupiter is about expansion and sort of blow it up and make it bigger than it needs to be. We've got, especially in Jupiter in Leo, we've got this combination thing happening in the world, and it can cause arguments, it can cause, conflagrations of sorts. But for you, Mars sextiles Jupiter and Mars is in your 1st house because it's in Gemini, and then it sextiles Jupiter in your 3rd. So this is a period of time when you really want to share your ideas. You become your idea. People see you as the idea person, the communicator. It's a very interesting placement. For some of you, it changes the trajectory of your career. You become known as an orator, an actor, a researcher, a person who comes up with answers. Very interesting. On Saturday the 4th, another placement for you in your 1st house is Mars will come together and link arms with very think outside the box Uranus. So Mars in Gemini, which is all about action, and Uranus, which is all about research and technology and unusual insights, will be on top of your 1st house. So somehow, some way, all of you Geminis will be describing yourselves as unique and specifically aligned with science, technology, and intricate understanding of very complex ideas. It could be amazing. The moon, the moon right now will conjunct Pluto, which brings to light a lot of energy as far as it relates to your desire to travel, to explore, to learn. On the 6th, the sun will square Saturn. So the sun in Cancer will butt heads with Saturn in Aries. Saturn, the Cancer and Aries, that's a very interesting combination. The sun in Cancer is in your financial sector. And Saturn is in your 11th house of groups, organizations, agencies, educational centers, hospitals, any place where groups are contained. And there could be a disagreement. There could be a concern, either in a place you work or someplace you're trying to connect with. Maybe they don't understand your qualifications, etc., etc. Now, the interesting news that goes along with this, I told you, is an interesting month. Neptune goes retrograde. And Neptune is in Aries. And that is in that 11th house sector, groups, organizations, etc. The following day after the conflagration where they're arguing about who you are and what you're worth and your financial worth within the company or in the nonprofit or wherever it is this is taking place, there will be a reconsideration, because Neptune will be desirous of you to look between the lines. Read between the lines, that's what they say. You will use your intuition and your innate know-how. Because it's retrograde, you will review, redo, and revise. Interesting. I think it is. Then on Thursday the 9th, we have a triple South Node happening. Triple South Node conjunction between the star Regulus, Venus in Virgo, and the South Node in Virgo. This is about dealing with what hurt you in the past. What has held you back? Where is Virgo in this particular chart? Well, it's in the area of home and family. Did something happen in your home life? Did you get hurt by something that happened within the home? Did somebody, walk away? Did the home that you grew up with disappear? Whatever. This is a time for healing that and rethinking it. So, very interesting. The other thing that's also part of this is that there will be a new moon on July 14th. And it's in Cancer. And it's a new beginning. A different way of seeing your finances. Because the new moon is in your second house. Your earning power, your ability to manage money, your ability to affect things so that you have the goods and services that you want. So this is happening as well. It's a new door. It's a new day. I don't want to break into song, but it's a new day dawning as it relates to your capital. Okay, Gemini, that's my astrology for you. Let's take a look at the cards, okay, and see what's going on here. I'm going to take a sip of water. I love these little spouty bottles. I know. I usually use a carry-all, and I put my water in that, but I happen to have this bottle, and I've been using it. Okay, let's take a look at the oracle cards. Stay focused. Don't let anything get in your way right now. You've got big plans. I love it. Gemini, 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 Gemini. Things that you've been worried things are not going your way. The Tower. And you got everything organized. What do they want? What does your business want? What does what do your friends want? What is this? You've got all your ducks in a row. There will be news coming in. Page of Wands. And things will smooth out. You'll move into calmer waters. Six of Swords. There will be news about money. Knight of Pentacles. And usually that means good news. And it's time to make a change. It's time to take action. It's time to move forward. No more sitting on your hands, because doors are opening for you now. It couldn't before. It is now. This is an opportunity-laden card. Okay, everybody, all you Geminis, all you Gemini Sun, Moon, and Rising, and all those people watching for their Gemini friends, have a great week. Hello, Libra. How are you? This is for Sun, Moon, and Rising Librans, and for all those cross-watchers that are keeping an eye on their friends' charts. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. Okay. So, Jupiter went into Leo on the 30th. I mentioned it in my last reading, but I'm mentioning it again because I think it's an overlay for the whole month as we move into the year, because this will stay in that sign for a whole year and be affecting a lot of different people. Now, Librans are very comfortable with Leonine energy. Leonine energy is creative, dramatic, and it's kind of like, hey, pay attention to me because I have something to say. This is happening in your 11th house. This is the area of your chart where groups of people are at your disposal, and they're interested in supporting your ideas and activities. Okay, so that's a starter. On Wednesday the 1st, Mars sextiled Jupiter. And Mars sextiled Jupiter in this way. Mars in your 9th house of travel and exploration and new ideas butted up against, even though it's sextiled. Its sextile is generally harmonious, but with Mars and Uranus working together, it can create a lot of noise. And with Jupiter in that 11th house and Mars in your 9th, there's a sense that change has to happen, and you have a plan. Very interesting. On Saturday the 4th, which is our country's basic birthday, Mars in Gemini, your sister air sign, will conjunct Uranus in Gemini in that 9th house. Travel, learning, expanded insights. Sometimes it's all about religion and spirituality. And with these two coming together in that particular part of your chart, you could be going on a trip, you could be desirous of one, even if you don't have the money to make it happen. There's this energy driving you to get out and explore the world on a lot of different levels, even psychological. On Monday the 6th, the big square off occurs between the Sun, which is in Cancer, and Saturn in Aries, which is an absolute square. These two signs will butt heads. So where is Cancer? Well, Cancer is and the Sun is in Cancer right now, is in your career area, your career house, your 10th house. It's also the work you do in the community. It's also any way you are involved in the world in a big way or a small way. But if it's important to you, it's important to us. And then Saturn is over in the 7th house of long-term partnerships. So there could be, for you, Libra, a discord between what your partner hopes to achieve in their day-to-day life and what's occurring in your career. A good example of that would be that you're being offered a position to head up a project at the head office, which is in Omaha, Nebraska, and you live in New Jersey. And this could rattle your partner, your romantic partner. Could also be your business partner who doesn't agree with something you're doing in your career life. Maybe you're not acting the way he or she thinks you should. Okay, so set that aside for a second, and let's take a little walk into the following day. On Tuesday the 7th, Neptune, which gives you the ability to read between the lines and to also sense what's going on, goes retrograde. And Neptune is in Aries. And Neptune will be in Aries, by the way, for the next 27 years. So it's interesting. Neptune in Aries, what an interesting combination. Watery, mystical, elusive Neptune in fiery, demanding, leadership-oriented Aries. How fascinating. Well, for you, that's in that partnership area, the 7th house. There will be an opportunity, because Neptune has moved retrograde. I think it's fascinating to take a look at your partnership and say, let's rework this. Let's make this happen. You'll review, redo, and revise. So that by the time you get to Tuesday the 8th, the whole situation looks very different. On Thursday the 9th, there's a triple conjunction of the South Node, which is past experiences, past lives, and all kinds of past issues where you may have felt damaged by something that occurred, or it didn't work to your advantage in a very big way. And that's in your 12th house. It may bring up issues that you thought you had buried, stuffed away in a closet. The South Node is in Virgo, and it's in that 12th house of secrets and desires to know what your purpose is. So this will also be rearing its little head. And then on the 14th of July, the clouds part, and we enter Cancer. Is our new moon. A new moon in Cancer. New beginnings, new ideas, new activities. And where is this happening? In your area of your great and glorious career, the 10th house. You're going to make a change, a shift. You're going to grow in a certain area. Maybe you've decided to take a different position, or you're going to be doing that within the company you work, or maybe you're starting your own business. But whatever it is, it's nurturing, it's loving. It has a capacity to help people. Okay, Libra, that's my story for you this week. It's a lot. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take a look at the cards and see how this lines up with what we've been talking about. My dog is dreaming. Speaking of Neptune. Libra, Libra, Libra. You are seeing the situation accurately. You've got a key understanding of some of the major issues that you're experiencing right now. Libra, Libra, Libra. There's a message coming in, Page of Cups. Could be about a child. There's also a connection with somebody that's very harmonious, and there could be a partnership brewing. It could also be a love affair. If you're single and looking for that, this could be the time to jump into something interesting. This is the Six of Pentacles. This is in influx, or an opportunity for money to come into you from some direction. Doesn't mean you won't spend it right away, but the money is coming your way. And this is a whole new beginning as it relates to your finances and love. Okay, Libra. I'd love to hear from you. Share this, like this, share this, subscribe, and take care. Aquarius, how are you? Listen, I know a lot of Aquarians, and I have a slew of people who are asking questions right now that have Aquarius moons, Aquarius suns. So let's see what this all means, okay? So let's jump right in and talk about something that I mentioned during my last forecast. Jupiter has moved into the sign of Leo. Very dramatic, very over the top. And that energy will last for a year because Jupiter, after all, is loud, large, and in charge. Okay. This goes into the area of your long-term partnerships, romantic and otherwise. So you could be experiencing something that relates to a partnership. On Wednesday the 1st, we had Mars sextile Jupiter. So Mars sextiling Jupiter, Mars is in your 5th house of romance, and your 7th house is being visited by Jupiter. So there could be a romantic or creative relationship that turns into something more long-term. Keep an eye on that. On Saturday, the 4th, Mars in Gemini will conjunct Uranus in Gemini. Again, Mars is the planet of action. Uranus is thinking outside the box. This is an unusual occurrence, particularly since it's in your 5th house. So your fun time activities could get very interesting. You could have a new romantic burst of energy. Your children could be visiting you. You could be going places and doing things with them in a way you've never done before. You might be, teaching them how to fly fish or build things. Whatever, it's affecting that house of yours where all your creativity rests. On Monday the 6th, the Sun in Cancer will square Saturn in Aries. So Cancer is in your 6th house of wellness and work, and Saturn is in your 3rd house. So you could be discussing with somebody better ways to take care of your body. You could be coming up with a creative plan by discussing it on how to make your workaday world easier. There could be a project you're working on that needs to glide instead of just bump along. And because it's a Sun squaring Saturn, it could be information you don't want to deal with. And there could be arguments and resistance. So just keep that in mind. On the 9th, there is a triple South node conjunction. The star Regulus is in Virgo. Venus has moved into Virgo. And the South node is in Virgo. Now, for you Aquarians, that is up in that 8th house. 8th house can be erratic, but it can also be exciting. Inheritances. It deals with your sexuality. It deals with money you owe to people, money that's owed to you, various life transitions, things that you're working on. Maybe you're moving. But what's interesting about this is that you're dealing, right now, you're dealing with issues that cropped up in the past that were of this 8th house nature. And you're starting to understand how to manage it better. It's scary. And instead of running away from some of these issues, you will be heading right into them with strength and maturity. So that's something very exciting. And then on July 14th, there's a new moon in Cancer. A new moon in Cancer is in the 12th house. What's your purpose? Oh, pardon me, it's not in your 12th house. It's in your 6th house. What am I working on? How do I take better care of my body? Are there tricks that I don't know about? How to make yourself stronger, wiser, more balanced? How to work and be happy in the process? How to make your workaday world work for you? A new moon is a new beginning. It's so exciting, and we're entering that right now. And when we get to the 14th, you'll really feel the shift. because you are intent on finding new skills that can aid you in these two different areas, work and health. So that's my news astrologically, Aquarius. Let's jump into the cards and see what's happening there. Aquarius, 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 Aquarius. Issues around father, husband, brother, and son. So whatever you are experiencing right now, dear Aquarians, this subject matter, these people will crop up in your everyday life, and you'll have to do something with one of these people or all of them. Okay, let's put a card down, or 6. Whatever's been going on with your father or your husband or your brother or your son, things are starting to get a little bit calmer. The waters are more gentle. You're still worried. The Moon card. You're concerned about finances. You're concerned about their wellness. You're concerned about having enough to take care of you and yours. But remember, there's an answer, because when you have that chapel in the background shining light into the situation, there are options. There will be news about money. There could be an offer. You have the skills, the talents, the psychological ability, and the intuition, and you're spiritually aligned with the universe enough to help make something work with one of these people in your life, father, husband, brother, and son. Okay, Aquarius, I look forward to hearing from you. Drop me a line, cottagetarot.com, and have a wonderful week. Come back after the 14th. Hello, Taurus, how are you? Let's dive right into your report. So, Jupiter, I mentioned Jupiter moved into Leo and will stay there for a year. And it's in your 4th house. What is that? People always wonder about the houses. 4th house is home, mother, the cave that you love. Maybe you have a man cave. Maybe you have a she shed. Whatever it is, the emphasis is on doing something that supports everything and everyone that feels like family to you. On Wednesday the 1st, Mars sextile Jupiter. Very, very noisy, very combustive. But it's a sextile, so how bad can it be? So Mars is the just do it planet. And for you, that's in the area of money, the 2nd house. And it sextiles Jupiter in that 4th house. So maybe you're remodeling the homestead. Maybe you want to help your mom out. Maybe one of the matriarchy needs a knee replacement. Maybe you want to actually buy a home. So the focus will be on that. And because Jupiter stays in this area of your life for a year, that's how long you'll be possibly dealing with some of these issues. On Saturday the 4th, Mars in Gemini will conjunct Uranus in Gemini. And that's again in your 2nd house. So it's all about coming up with creative ways to manage money, to bring it in toward you, to figure out productive ways to get the material things that you need. On Monday the 6th, a fairly volatile transit occurs. And it's between the Sun in Cancer, which is in your area of communication, and Saturn in Aries. And Saturn in Aries, for you, is in your 12th house of dreams, of secret desires, of hidden enemies. So there is this push-pull that's occurring. You may not want to tell people what you really believe, or what you really desire, or what you understand about the nature of the world. So this will pop up for you around the 6th. Now on the 7th, things sort of tone down a little bit. Neptune will go retrograde, and it's in that 12th house of secrets and private institutions and what you consider your life path to be. But it will go retrograde and be retrograde for a period of time, so it allows you to do something I think is great, to revise, redo, and renew. So anything that came up on the 6th that was really pushing your buttons, you may be able to smooth out around the 7th. We have a triple south node conjunction. It's one of the lunar nodes, and the outer node is in Virgo, and it's transiting your 5th house of love, children, romance, creativity, arts, fun things that you like to engage in. But this triple south node is combined with, the south node is combined with Venus in Virgo and the star Regulus in Virgo. These three energies come together in this 5th house, and it's saying, what hurt you? What happened? Why aren't you embracing life with joy, with, anticipation? This is a time, folks, when this happens, to deal with past wounds. Did you lose a partner? Have you never had one? Would you like to date? Do you feel that you're not good enough? There's somebody for you. They can work with you. They love you. They already love you. You are lovable. But this will be some of the content of what you're dealing with around the 9th. And then we have a new moon in Cancer. Yay! And a new moon in Cancer for you is in your 3rd house. Your 3rd house of ideas and preparing documents so that the world can hear what you have to say. And my back is being nudged by something in my chair. It's an opportunity for you to start over. Maybe you have had a falling out with one of your siblings, but this is a time to share your good news, to share your ideas, to write them, to publish them. This could be the beginning of a activity, a job even, where you are really doing a lot of writing, publishing. You may start a podcast. Who knows? But this is the period now for that. So I hope that made sense. Let's take a look at the cards, Taurus. Fertility. Oh my goodness. So for some of you, you might be thinking about having a child. But what else does fertility mean? It means producing. Are you a writer? Do you have a couple mysteries in your head? Do you want to write about politics? If ever there was a time to write about politics, it's now. Don't get me started. You've got to act on some of your ideas and possibly put them into the universe through the written word. You might be sharing it with an old friend. This is an old buddy or comrade who knows how talented you are coming in to visit. Page of Wands, news about a young person or a message from a young person. This is also the Three of Wands, seeing where your assets lie, where your abilities are strongest. Your friend could be supporting that and intent on sharing what they think about you. Some of it could make you feel a little bit dodgy and maybe a little bit sad that you didn't act on things in the past. But there's a partnership on the offing. It's a really important time for you to grow, to learn, and to open your heart. Or a new business partnership too. You'll be leaving something that doesn't work for you anymore. So, Tauruses, I want you to have a great week. Get back to me if you want to. Drop a line. Tell me you think my channel is fabulous. I always think that I'm here to help. But I also like to hear that this is working for you. So let me know. Anyhow, Taurus, be well, take care. And until after the 14th, I'll see you then. Virgo, 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 sun, moon, and rising. Hi. Listen, let's jump right in. On the 30th, I'm mentioning the 30th, it was in my old report. Jupiter went into Leo, and it's going to stay there for a year. And it's in your 12th house, your path into life. What am I here for? The question of your special talents, your secret wishes. You know, maybe you really want to be involved with the Benedictine priory somewhere. Maybe your dream is to become a pilot. But over the next year, you get to discuss that and bring that to the surface. On Wednesday the 1st, Mars sextile Jupiter. For you, Jupiter in your 12th house, like we just described, and Mars is in your career. So there could be a desire on your part to somehow link some of your special secret talents to what you're doing in the work world. And this could shake some people up because they didn't realize you could fly a plane, or they didn't realize that you were a long distance runner and you could be part of their marathon that will be a fundraiser for the nonprofit that you work for. Or maybe some people become jealous because they didn't realize how accomplished you were. Virgo, this is going to impact your career, and there's no getting around this. So let's take a look at what's happening on the 4th. Mars, the planet of action, conjuncting Uranus, which is all about creative, out-of-the-box thinking. Also in Gemini, in your 10th house. This is a time when you're starting to see what your options are, where your strengths lie, what you could be doing to firm up your career life. You might find people attracted to you in that sector and wanting you to work for them. On Monday the 6th, there's a bit of I want to call it a conflagration or a argumentative discourse when the sun in Cancer, which is in your 11th house of groups and organizations, faces off against Saturn in Aries. Sorry about that. And Saturn in Aries is that area of your life that's all about transitions. So the Sun in Cancer in your 11th house and the 8th house of transition could be a situation where people in power want you to change up what you're doing. They may want to remove you from your position, or they may want to put somebody in your catbird seat and move you to another office, or any number of things. But it has to do with the 11th house groups of people that you come in contact with a lot. So that could be distressing. But on the 7th, Neptune, which is about reading between the lines and getting clear by using your intuition, goes retrograde. And it's in that 8th house of transition. You know, sex, death, and taxes. And with the energy of Neptune going into a revisionist position, you will have an opportunity to review, redo, and revise. There may be something that you can present to this group of people that makes them think, uh-oh, we were mistaken. So, don't forget that. On Thursday the 9th, we have a triple South Node conjunction. 3 different energy fields. The star Regulus it's a very powerful fixed star in the sign of Virgo. South Node in the sign of Virgo. And then Venus, the planet of love and beauty, in the sign of Virgo. And where does this land for you? Of course, in your first house. You're a Virgo. So there could be something that you need to deal with. It has to do with your identity. It has to do with you being hurt by the way people used to respond to what you looked like, or acted like, or sounded like. Maybe you had a lisp. Maybe you had the inability to really feel as cute on the outside as you really were on the inside. You will get the opportunity to shift gears and to deal with some of these old identity-based wounds. Maybe you're in theater now. Maybe you're a model, but you still carry around baggage that says, I'm not cute enough. You know, there is some level of, like, we will look at pictures of ourselves from 20 years ago, and we thought we were fat then. And then we look now at those photographs and we go, holy God, I wish I were even a fraction of that size. Or whatever. We learn through this transit to love, particularly you Virgos, to love who you are, love your body, love the shape you're in, and to deal with some of those negative arrows that were thrown at you. On July the 14th, there is a new moon in Cancer. It's really great for you Virgos. You like Cancer. And it's in the 11th house. So there's a new day dawning, new dreams, new concepts, but also those people that you work with in some of these big organizations could become your allies. You could start seeing them from a different perspective. So, Virgo, let's jump away from astrology for a sec. It's never far away. And move on to the cards. Virgo, 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 Virgo. Oh, this is so beautiful. Follow your heart. Live with joy. Be love. And then you find love. Oh, I can't believe I said that. But I do believe that's true. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. You've got your ducks in a row. You're organized. What Virgo isn't? It's time for partnership. You can handle it. This is a partnership. Love, business, close friendship. Page of Cups. Page of Cups. Good news. A new beginning, a new project, a new business. Planting the seeds for something productive to happen. It could be planting the seeds for a healthy relationship. There's luck on your side. This is the Star card. And the person that's in your orb is a business person. Could be, it's non-gender specific, Sag, a Leo, or an Aries. This person has your back and wants you to excel. Okay, Virgos, until next time. Visit me again after the 14th. I'll have a new set of videos up. I'm going to be dealing with the Barbeau basket. Please. It's easier to comprehend than how it sounds, but the impact on society could be big. So pop back in here, and until that time, be well. Hello, Capricorn. Let's dive right in. On June 30th, Jupiter went into Leo. Yay, team. 8th house. Life transitions of all sorts. In the old days, we called it this house of sex, death, and taxes. Today, we call it the house of major transitions, but it's also the house where you inherit money, or people owe you money, or you buy a new car, whatever. But this is the emphasis over the next year. Jupiter stays in the sign of Leo for an entire year, and it'll be very interesting. On Wednesday the 1st, Mars made a sextile to Jupiter. This is a positive link. Even though Mars is excitable and Uranus is a little bit nervous, the two coming together in your 6th and 8th house can be very productive. The 8th house is transition and the 6th house is work. The details of working and improving your health. So if I can make a prediction, you will be working on some intriguing new ways to get healthy. You might be working on some interesting ways to make your workaday world more productive. Neat. On the 6th, the Sun will square Uranus. The Sun in Cancer will butt heads with Saturn in Aries. Saturn is in the 4th house of home and family, and Aries, I take it back. Saturn is in the 4th house in the sign of Aries, and the Sun is in Cancer in your 7th house of long-term partnerships. There could be a disagreement with your partner about something that needs to be taken care of that relates to home issues and or issues around the matriarchy. It's very simple. On Tuesday the 7th, we rethink all of our frustrating ideas because Neptune in that fourth house of home and family and mom and apple pie goes retrograde. I love Neptune doing this. It gives us a chance to read between the lines, use our intuition, and come up with a game plan. It's called review, redo, and revise. So that by the time we get to the 8th, whatever had you so worked up on the 6th could be improved upon. There is a triple south node conjunction between the star Regulus and Venus in Virgo and the south node in Virgo. And for you, Capricorn, this is a fellow earth sign. It's great. And it's in your 9th house of travel, exploring your world, going on walkabouts. You know, maybe it's not about leaving the state. Maybe it's going somewhere cool. But that's coming up. And it helps you to deal with some of the pain. It helps you to heal around issues of education. Maybe you never thought you were good enough or smart enough. Maybe you never felt like you had enough money to go on trips. Maybe you don't feel like you deserve it. Whatever. This triple conjunction in your south node is the past, and you're going to have the opportunity to lay to rest some of these nagging, uncomfortable experiences. So there you have it. Now, on July 14th, we have a new moon in Cancer, and it opens doors and makes everything possible, and it's comfortable, and it works really well with Capricorn, and it's in your house of all kinds of partnerships. So if you are in a partnership, whether it's romantic or personal or not personal or whatever, you can improve upon it. With this new moon, you're moving in a new direction, and it's very, very, very good for you. Okay, that's the astrological news for this upcoming week or so. Let's take a look at the oracle cards and see what we can find for Capricorn. What is it the universe wants you to hear? Flow of prosperity. Yay! This is the one card that you've been looking for. Flow of prosperity. Oh my goodness. Abundance. Fecundity, which means producing a lot. Creativity. Being creative will bring money toward you. What are you missing? You've had your heart broken. You felt like, you wanted to have all those things and nothing was happening. Somebody rained on your parade. Maybe you wanted to have another baby and you couldn't get pregnant. But right now you're doing a juggling act between a couple different projects. And you have sleepless nights, 9 of Swords. But you are moving in a new direction. Things are giving you, the universe is giving you this opportunity to move into a different sector. And dividing away from something that's pulling you apart. But first, a vacation. Capricorn, drop me a line. Let me know how you're doing. I'd love to hear from you. I know a lot of Capricorns. I know what some of you are going through. Please take care and be well. Hello, all you Pisces people. Let's jump into your chart. And Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. Okay. Jupiter went into creative colorful Leo. And it's in your 6th house of work and how you work and also your health. So it's lighting you up. It's giving you an opportunity to really get back on your feet. It's lucky. It's abundant. And it gives you creative ideas on how to be athletic, how to work your job so you have more time to do other things. On Wednesday the 1st, Mars sextiles Jupiter in your chart. Where is that? Well, Mars is in your 4th house of home and family, and Jupiter is in your 6th house of work and health. So your family might be very supportive of you becoming stronger, more powerful in a lot of the sectors we're talking about. Your family members may absolutely be the ones that have your back. So keep that in mind. On Saturday the 4th, which is our nation's birthday, Mars, which is very excitable and very energetic, is in Gemini. And it conjuncts Uranus in Gemini. And for you, dear Pisces, that is in your 4th house of home and family. So something is going down on the homestead. It could be as simple as we can't find our favorite pot to cook lobsters. It could be that your mom, who generally does all the cooking, isn't into it this year. I don't know what this will be for you, but it is a little bit dramatic, a little bit over the top, and it's excitable, and it needs to be managed with care. On Monday the 6th, the Sun will butt heads with Saturn. The Sun is in Cancer in your 5th house of children and love and creativity and picnics, and Saturn is in your financial sector. What does this mean? If you're planning on doing something really big with your children or doing something with a romantic partner, you may go into your bank account and discover you have 2 cents because something got paid that you didn't know about. It could be as simple as that, or it could be that you want to propose marriage and you can't buy a ring. Or you would like to have a big dinner out, and the best you can cough up right now is some peanut butter sandwiches. So that's coming up. But then on Tuesday the 7th, Neptune goes retrograde. And Neptune in your 2nd house of money gives you the ability to read between the lines. And guess what? You could find a way to make your 5th house dreams come true by the time we get to the 8th. So don't despair, because Neptune will be giving you the opportunity to review, revise, and redo. On Thursday the 9th, there's a triple South Node conjunction. South Node is traditionally the indicator of your past life, and I always think it's even past life, this life, your childhood, maybe when you were younger. With the star Regulus, which is a very powerful energy, very powerful star, conjuncting the South Node in Virgo, and also Venus in Virgo. We're looking at a lot of energy pouring into your long-term partnership area. Love involved there, or maybe it's a business partnership. You're dealing with old hurts. Maybe your boss, when you first started working in a certain place, thought you were a little bit clumsy. Maybe you didn't have all your ducks in a row. Maybe your long-term marriage partner had an affair. I'm not saying they did. And you forgave them, but it still hurts you sometimes. These are the kind of issues that will crop up. And you'll be given the tools to work on them. On July the 14th, we have a new moon in your 5th house of love and romance and all the good things that are fun in life. The new moon is a new way. It's a portal into a new life. So if some of these things that we've been talking about are still bugging you, you may find that the 5th house being visited by a new moon gives you hope. Maybe you feel that the old relationship you had with a partner is not the same relationship you have now. In fact, even with all the hurt, it's a better relationship. And you're older and wiser to recognize that. Anyhow, that's the news for Pisces, astrologically, for this upcoming forecast period. Let's jump over to the oracle cards and pull out a few tarot cards to see what's going on for Pisces. Take charge of the situation. You can do this, Pisces. You're very sensitive, but you're also very strong. And you're strong emotionally. Let's put some tarot cards on top of this. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. The Emperor. Somebody has their eye on you. Somebody who has recognition in the community or has a very strong position in your career, or they are interested in what you're able to bring forward. There will be some news about money. You will get some extra coinage coming in. You'll spend it as fast as it comes in, but you will get extra money. And an old friend might be the person behind it that helps you to make that happen. That is the 6 of Cups. Happy family. There's something good coming your way that really will light you up and support your family structure. If you have a big family, or just light you up in general, where you feel like the sky is the limit, is not the limit. And then lastly, there will be news. Possibly news about a child. It's a good message. It's positive. And news about money. Okay, that's the report for this forecast period. Pisces, take care. And until after the 14th, be really happy and have fun. Bye. Hello, Cancer. How are you? Listen, this is your birthday month, and a lot is swirling around you Cancers. So let's get going on this. Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So on the 30th, we had a very dramatic shift where Jupiter moved into the sign of Leo. And for you, dear Cancers, that's in your 2nd house of finance. So you're spending the next year looking at your financial situation and looking for better ways to attract income, goods, services, etc. On Wednesday the 1st, Mars sextiled Jupiter. Mars in your 12th house of secrets, spirituality, long-term desires, things that you do that really mean a lot to you, your life purpose. That is being emphasized, and you're taking some action as it relates to that. Mars is all about action. Jupiter is let's make something happen. On Saturday the 4th, Mars in Gemini and Uranus in Gemini come together again in that 12th house. It's very soulful, but it's powerful and it's loud. And it could be a situation where you're ready to come out of the closet with something you know how to do. Maybe you're an incredible dancer, singer, actor, and you've always kept it under wraps. On Monday the 6th, the Sun in Cancer will square Saturn in Aries. They'll butt heads. Who you are as a person, your identity does not fit with what they think, what the status quo thinks you should be doing in whatever area you're working in your career. You could be a lawyer, and you probably stood up in the courtroom and said something that really rubbed a judge the wrong way. And it could create a whole hubba-bubba around this. On the 7th, though, Neptune goes retrograde. And Neptune is in that 10th house of career. Neptune allows you to read between the lines. So what are they really doing? What's really happening? And with this ability to have revision, so it's revise, redo, or revisit, revise, and redo, you will be able to calm the waters and find out what's at the bedrock, or what's at the base of everyone getting so excited over something you said or did. That your identity, maybe you, if you are a lawyer, maybe you came into work in gardening clothes because you couldn't change. So what? You're still a good lawyer. And this is all about your identity. Maybe you talk to people too much. Maybe you're too friendly. Maybe you're too cozy. This will come to the surface and you will be able to rebut it through using your intuition. On Thursday the 9th, there is a triple South Node conjunction. The South Node is the past, in whatever form it takes. It's the fixed star Regulus. Very strong energy in Virgo, South Node in Virgo, and Venus in Virgo. And the Virgoan energy will be in that area of communication, 3rd house. Have something to do with siblings, maybe. And it could be about sharing your ideas, sharing your content, writing, publishing, whatever, speaking, public engagements. You may have given up doing those things because you didn't think you were good enough. Well, you're in the process of healing now, my friends. And over the next few weeks, this is where the focus will lie. You are good enough. You are kind enough. You are insightful enough. You have to stop criticizing yourself. It doesn't mean you're perfect, but you can move beyond the pain. And then on July 14th, we have a glorious new moon in Cancer. Yay! And it's hitting you right in your 1st house, whether you're sun, moon, or rising. Cancer, it's a new day. It's a new start. What would you like to accomplish over the next few months that you haven't been able to in a long time? Do you want to make something, build something, apply for something? Carve out time to grow a garden. The new moon is a new start. It's closing the door on old attitudes and beliefs. So it's time to move on. Okay, Cancer, let's take a look at the oracle cards and see what the universe wants to share with you. Whatever it is you're dreaming about doing, it's a yes. This is Ganesh. Ganesh brings all kinds of goodies into your life. Ganesh is a Hindu god, but he's an elephant. Yummy. Really great. Okay, let's put some cards on Ganesh and see what else needs to be said. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Yes, you have the ability to understand and to use your mental prowess to make changes. Yes, you are going to break away from something you've been doing. It's the end of a tedious period. In order for you to produce and build, 10 of Cups. And it'll be juicy and rich and full of joy. Emotional healing, 8 of Cups. You're moving to a better position in life. Cancer. Balance, harmony. You may be dealing with some legal issues that are going to be, loose ends can be tied up. Some legal issues possibly with a young person, Page of Wands. And you'll get some news from that person. Or maybe it's just finding time to balance out something with one of your children. That things that were never said that should have been. That won't necessarily happen right away. You may put it off for a few weeks. And then lastly, your creativity is emerging again, and it's flowing through you, and it's time to exercise it. What is it that you love to do? How can you use your creativity? It lines itself up really well with Ganesh. Yes, you are a creator, a creative, a nurturer, a mother, no matter what your gender. You are a loving, caring person. Okay, Cancer, until next time, take care, be well, and find me after the 14th. Scorpio, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, my old friends. How are you? Let's jump right in. So, I mentioned last time, Jupiter on the 30th was moving into Leo. Leo is your 10th house of career, aspirations of all sorts. It is a powerful position for you for a whole year. Scorpio, I don't care how old you are or how young you are. What is it that you want to act on? Okay, Mars sextiles Jupiter on the 1st. It did already. And Mars sextiles Jupiter. Mars is in your 8th house of life transition, and Jupiter is in the 10th house of your standing in the community, your career, the big, great, glorious influences that you have on the wider world. What are you getting ready to take action on? I mentioned it before. I'm going to mention it again. On Saturday the 4th, Mars in Gemini. So Mars in Gemini is in that transition area, the 8th house, will conjunct Uranus in the 8th house. It's loud. It's dynamic. Are you building a home? Are you changing careers? Are you joining forces with another organization? What are you doing for yourself? On Monday the 6th, the Sun butts head with Saturn. The Sun in Cancer comes together and does not agree with Saturn in Aries. And Saturn in Aries is the health house. Saturn in Aries is your work area, how you do it in general. And then the Sun is the 9th house. You may have an idea. They might be telling you you need to take a certain kind of vitamin, but you don't want to do it while you travel. Because the 9th house is travel, exploration, learning. Or maybe some of the learning that you've done has shown you that something that a doctor or whatever wants to do isn't really up your alley. Or maybe you want to go on a long escapade through the Baltic countries, and work wants you to finish up a project. I don't know, but that's some of what I'm seeing here. On Tuesday the 7th, Neptune retrogrades. I love retrogrades because it gives you a chance to stand back and look at a situation. Review, redo, and revise. And Neptune will be in that 6th house of health and work. It will be saying, I can look between the lines. I can read between the lines. I can analyze critically. I can intuit what needs to happen here. And you will be able to take what was upsetting you on the 6th and work it through emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. You'll feel better about it. On Thursday the 9th, there's a triple South Node conjunction between Venus in Virgo, the South Node in Virgo, and the fixed star Regulus. Energy-wise, it's powerful, and it's in Virgo. Now, this lasts the whole month, but this is also an energy that allows you to release old wounds. The three together give you the 1-2 punch that you need to move forward in something that has to do with an organization that really broke you apart. You have to let it go and move on. The 11th house is organizations, groups, large conglomerations of people with attitudes and opinions. And you have to say, no, I will not be ruled by those excessive attitudes that did not judge me properly. And that's coming up. And then lastly, the new moon in Cancer in the 9th house of learning new things, getting out of the house and traveling around, expanding your understanding of some significant intellectual pursuit, following a spiritual path more intently. That is the new moon. The new moon is making you feel alive again. You're moving in a new direction. You're leaving the old behind. You may be splitting up with an old attitude. It's so strange. And you may have decided, I'm changing my life in a big way. It could be through relocating, or simply going back to school, or any number of things. But it really will also have to do with your health and your workaday world. So there you go. Scorpio. There's my dog barking again. Hang on a second while I talk to him. All right, let's take a look at, Sam and I are going to look at the oracle cards. Sam, say hello. There we go. He has opinions on everything. You know, everyone's wondering what you're barking about. All right, you get down. No barky. Let's take a look at what's happening here. Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. You are seeing the situation accurately. Whatever is really on top of your mind right now, you've got it nailed. Let's see what the tarot wants to add to this. Spirit guides, let's take a look at Scorpio. Moon, sun, moon, and rising. Queen of Pentacles. You'll have enough money to do what you need to do. Queen of Pentacles. Or a person, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, steps into your orb and helps you. A new beginning, the Fool, new start, a new way of evaluating a circumstance that you're involved in. You have everything organized. You can do this. You're not lazy. Scorpios like to be organized. The Hermit, you're feeling like you need to be alone right now. And contemplate your life. You've had your heart broken. You know what it feels like. That's also coming up. And you fought some really hard battles. 7 of Wands. But now you can look forward to some pleasant experiences in your life. And some of it will rise out of this new moon moving through your 9th house of learning and travel, exploring, and being curious. You maybe haven't felt curious for a very long time. Okay, Scorpio, keep me in the loop. Drop me a line. Let me know how you're doing. And take care. Oh, and like, share, and subscribe. And visit me again after the 14th.